Coming up on this Thursday edition of the San Francisco 49ers Report, San Francisco linked to one of the top free agents still left on the open market. According to reports, San Francisco has shown interest in Bengals free agent wide receiver Tyler Boyd. Speaking of wide receivers, do the 49ers have to hurry up and pay Brandon Aiyuk soon? That's what an NFL executive told Mike Sando of The Athletic. Stay tuned for that. First, today's 49ers Report is sponsored by 8 Sleep. Get $200 off the pod cover in addition to free shipping at 8sleep.com/chatsports. I'm pointing to the link down below me. If you want to improve your sleep, you do it with 8 Sleep. Niners linked to Tyler Boyd. This is certainly an interesting conversation, an interesting story that we want to unpack here on the show. I'm Chase Sr. Thank you so much for choosing us. The Athletic reporting that the 49ers have shown interest in Tyler Boyd. Other teams also suitors for him because he's been a very productive and durable wide receiver for a long time. Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, Miami Dolphins, Detroit Lions, in addition to his former team, and the Cincinnati Bengals are also in play here. Tyler Boyd has been in the National Football League for 8 years. He has been a steady contributor, very consistent, also very reliable, and he's kind of been overshadowed a little bit by two really good wide receivers on that Bengals team, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That's why a lot of people don't realize how good of a player he is. And of course, the numbers impacted a little bit when you play alongside two wide receivers to the likes of Chase and Higgins. A 2016 second-round pick out of Pitt, 55th overall, so toward the back end of that second round in 2016, spent his entire career with Cincinnati. He has tallied 513 career catches, and the consistent theme for him, durable, dependable. Had a pretty solid game against San Francisco this past year in catching a touchdown pass. I'm sure a lot of you are watching the show right now, and you're asking this question. Chase, why would the Niners be interested in Tyler Boyd? This makes sense only if a team were to offer and sign Jauan Jennings to an offer sheet, and then that team would have to pay Jauan Jennings a new deal. And right now, under that second-round tender, he officially signed it with San Francisco on the books for just shy of $5 million. So that new team would have to sign Jennings to an offer sheet, kind of like what the Niners did with Brock Wright. But then the Niners had the right to match it. Not only do you have to involve that aspect into the conversation here, but because the Niners put a second-round tender on Jauan Jennings, that new team has to sign him to a new deal and surrender a second-round pick. So San Francisco could have looked into Tyler Boyd as an insurance policy for if they lost Jauan Jennings. The thing is, Boyd might be out of the Niners' price range. Spotrac projecting his salary to come in at $8.7 million. It's almost double what Jauan Jennings would be making, and we know that this Niners team right now a little bit tight with the cash flow. This is a high-end wide receiver who is still 29 years old. Frankly, I'm surprised that he has not signed with the team yet. Look at what he did in 2023, 17 games played. He was targeted 98 times. Not often do you see wide receiver threes get targeted that much. Caught 67 of those passes, 667 yards, and one of his 2 touchdowns this past year coming against San Francisco. Over the last 4, I wasn't lying when I said he's been durable and he's been consistent. At least 15 games played in each of the last 4 campaigns. 2020, really good season for him. 79 grabs, 841 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's always kind of in that 4 or 5 touchdown range, at least has been 3 of the last 4 years. Steady catches, steady yardage. Yards per catch numbers pretty damn good. Very well respected, too. Team captain for Cincinnati and a player who was with that organization for a really, really long time. It's part of the reason and one of the many reasons why Cincinnati has looked into bringing him back. But also keep in mind, Cincinnati's going to most likely have to pay T. Higgins if they do not trade him away because Higgins is up for a contract extension. Jamar Chase up for a contract extension. Big-time dollars going to the wide receivers in Cincy. If you were to pick a wide receiver 3 between Jauan Jennings and Tyler Boyd, who would you go with? Tyler Boyd is the better overall wide receiver He's been the more productive player, but Jauan Jennings, a fan favorite and a great cultural and offensive fit within this scheme and on this team. So embrace debate. A lot of people are going to be going back and forth down in the comment section. Coming up next, do the Niners need to sign Brandon Aiyuk soon? NFL executive saying, Niners got to get on it. First, let's tell you about 8 Sleep. Sleep to power a whole new you. 8 Sleep is the high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues. Their Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heating and cooling technology that keeps you comfortable and sleeping for a deeper, more restful night. Why I love 8 Sleep? Plenty of reasons. Sleep science is really big for me. And the pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet, and it allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temp all night, the pod also tracks your sleep and health metrics right from the power of your own phone. And on average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by about 32% after just 1 month on the pod. No better way to improve your day-to-day life better than sleep. And the easiest way to do that is with the 8 Sleep Pod 3. Invest in the rest that you deserve. This is the intelligent sleep system that you've been looking for, and it'll dramatically improve your life. $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8 Sleep. All of that information down below in the show notes and in the comment section of this video. Next up, Brandon Aiyuk. Do the Niners need to sign him soon? NFL executive saying that, as I already noted here on the show. Here's what that NFL executive had to say to Mike Sando of The Athletic. Aiyuk is so integral to what the Niners do, more so than Deebo Samuel is, that I'd try to get something done with him before Justin Jefferson and these other wide receivers get deals, and then the price goes up. Because this is a deep receiver draft. They may try to do it in reverse. If there is something they can get done from a draft standpoint, then it could be moving Aiyuk or knowing their feet to the fire puts them to a point where they have to extend him. Now, that NFL executive bringing up a couple of wide receivers, and he mentioned one by name in Justin Jefferson. The other one who he's alluding to is CeeDee Lamb. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Aiyuk, they're all due and all up for contract extensions. And they're all some of the top young wide receivers in the National Football League. Spotrac with the projection on Justin Jefferson. It's a rich deal. 4 years, $28 million. So 4 years, $128 million. $70 million in guaranteed money. $32 million per year. That would make Justin Jefferson the highest paid wide receiver in football right now, overtaking Tyreek Hill. CeeDee Lamb, almost on par with him. A 4-year deal is the projection here. $120 million. $55 million guaranteed. $30 million per season. And then for Brandon Aiyuk, 4-year contract, $96 million. So not as much as Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. $40 million of that is guaranteed. $24 million average annual value, which is right around the neighborhood of Deebo Samuel. Now, if the Niners can sign Aiyuk to that deal that Spotrac projects is going to be his deal, that would be a great deal for San Francisco. It's not at $25 million. It's right there with Deebo Samuel, and it's not as lucrative as a Justin Jefferson or a CeeDee Lamb. $30 million for a wide receiver, for me, you better be Jerry Rice. It's a lot of dough. And the issue here, if Aiyuk sees those other deals happen, and this is what that NFL executive is talking about, where he sees Justin Jefferson get $32 million per, and CeeDee Lamb get $30 million, that could only drive the asking price up for Aiyuk in his camp. He might say, okay, I haven't had the production of Justin Jefferson. I'm not as much of a focal point as CeeDee Lamb, but you have them at 32 and $30 million. Why can't I be making $27, $28 million? That's in the range of a Devontae Adams. Aiyuk is not better than Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is a top wide receiver in this game. His production has been absolutely incredible. Here's the issue, though. Yours truly right here, I've been saying it for the last couple of years, even before Aiyuk broke out, because they're members of the same wide receiver class. Aiyuk, I think, is better than CeeDee Lamb. He has not put up the numbers of CeeDee Lamb. But if you compare both of them, Aiyuk and CeeDee, it's a toss-up. And if Aiyuk were on an offense that wasn't as loaded as San Francisco's offense, and if Aiyuk was on an offense where he was more of a focal point, maybe he'd have greater production so that he would be targeted more, have more catches, have more yards, which would then result in more money. And a sticking point here in negotiations, could Aiyuk be asking for wide receiver 1 money and wide receiver 1 targets? Could he want out of San Francisco because he wants to go somewhere else where he's targeted as much as a player like CeeDee Lamb, who every year that he's been in the NFL, he has had more than 100 targets. And as far as the receptions go, in 2023, CeeDee Lamb had 181 targets, 135 catches, 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. Aiyuk had 75 catches, 1,300 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Now again, Aiyuk isn't getting as many opportunities as a CeeDee Lamb. That's never been the case throughout his entire career. But Aiyuk could go to the negotiating table and say, well, what if I got CeeDee Lamb type targets? Then we'd be talking about me in that category with a Justin Jefferson and a CeeDee Lamb. So John Lynch, Parag, Kyle Shanahan, you need to pay me more. And that's the point from the NFL executive here, to circle back to what he said. You pay him earlier. You don't let the wide receiver market dictate what Aiyuk gets paid. Certainly interesting, but we also know how the Niners do business. They oftentimes do not hand out contract extensions until later in the summer, even after these contract extensions are given out by other teams. Embrace debate once again. Who's better between Aiyuk and CeeDee Lamb? BA for Let's Go Brandon. CL for CeeDee. Sound off with what you think down below. Don't forget to subscribe.